say that up so you can take
It's
it.
kind of cool.
Just like everything else in Fire Department.
Yeah, we work 4896 off shifts. This clock, if you're fighting fires at 40 below zero.
Oh, that's right, yeah, correct.
Yeah. So, what would you like to talk about?
Show us the, I mean, you got some great questions a while ago with Collins, so I forgot what it was. I mean, we can invite Collins over here.
Yeah, so this is our water tender, engine number 3. It holds 3,000 gallons of water. So this is what we would take if the area does not have fire hydrants. So most of our response areas outside of this immediate city does not have hydrants. So some of our water tanks can flow over 1,200 gallons a minute. So obviously we need a lot of water to support these types of operations.
I know that we asked a question to Collins earlier when there is a, what was it, anything that you asked? What's the response time?
I can only do one thing at a time. I'm cameraing now.
What's the response? That was a great question, by the way. What's the response on average? I think he answered the questions already about what, 8-9 minutes.
So the end of our service area, I know from just like doing reports, we have to put in our times. I know we can make it out there in about 8 to 9 minutes after the end of our service area towards Soldotna. The other way towards like Nikiski, the edge of there is about 7 minutes, about as fast as I've seen when I put in times. And then kind of like backside of like Beaver Loop, like I was telling you, some of those have been like almost like 12 minutes and like a fire engine like getting way back in there.
Beaver Loop is like a long loop. I mean, not a long loop, but it's...
And then some of the roads get so far back in there. And then across the bridge, like VIP, like that subdivision, that one's I think around like 9 to 10 minutes-ish, so.
No, about earthquake preparedness, it's happening every day here, right? I mean, but nothing so be concerned about.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Like 9 or 10. And the last time you guys had this, like what, 1964 or something like that?
Yeah, that was the last big one.
Yeah, the big one. But that was way back in Anchorage, around that area. Now, what are the local people here? I mean, are they concerned about the big one coming?
They're probably not super concerned, as concerned as they should be. So
Right.
I think there's only 4 of us here to respond to emergencies. If people, and then how many thousands of people live in this area. So anytime big earthquake happens, you have things like smell natural gas, or I can think of some common responses that they're not really emergencies that people are calling 911 for after a natural disaster. Maybe like a book fall on somebody's head and they have a bump, and so they call 911.
Right.
Meanwhile we have a wide open natural gas lines that are blowing gas and fire all over. We have to respond. If you activate the 911 system, we have to we'll prioritize our calls, but we still have to go make contact with you eventually. So we're taking those resources away. So however self-sufficient people can be with first aid supplies, having water and food, things like that. We're just one big earthquake away from having like our major infrastructure, like our roadways here, getting cut off, where we're not going to have food deliveries. People are used to just going to the grocery store every time that they need food.
Are there any educational or awareness some type to the kids, the population, the families, the communities, as far as like
the Office of Emergency Management with the borough, I know they do those types of things. You have to kind of go look for those classes, look for those resources. The state, I think it's the Department of Health and Human Services, they have all kinds of
they
resources
offer those kind of
online.
educational.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
They have. If you go online, they have all these interactive programs and informational things. They say you should have 3 gallons of water, for example.
Like a pretty case of supply.
And even that's probably pretty low because they're not going to be able to get food to us.
Out there, right,
People are
exactly.
just going to the store and
the remote housing over there, right?
Well,
remotely. I don't know. I mean, I can see as far as like we were out looking for properties out in areas like Funny River, for example. I mean, those are remote, and there's no electricity in some of these properties. It's like how are they going to survive through this? I know because I'm advocating a lot of this earthquake preparedness awareness where you're going to have your supply at least for 2 weeks. That's what I'm advocating.
Yes.
Not 3 weeks, not into hours.
Yeah.
Not even 1 week, 2 weeks, let's do that.
Yeah.
You know, 1 week is minimum, 2 weeks is to me standard. I don't know, I mean.
Yeah, that's a good route for sure to follow. A lot of people around here, if they have like a lot of like game meat in their freezers or fish,
Right.
You have to have a way to, if it's not in the winter time, to keep that cold, otherwise all your meat's going to spoil. So having backup energies,
Right.
like generators and stuff like that, to be able to plug your freezers in if it's the summertime or if it's the winter time, to run your boiler, to keep your house going. Naturally people in Alaska are fairly self-sufficient, but there is a population, I'd probably say it's actually the majority nowadays, that isn't self-reliant as they should.
Especially the seasonal, population. I mean, seasonal people, folks that come out here just for the summertime, let's say, and then they have the properties out here and they just drop campers or something. I mean, okay, campers, you have the supplies.
Yeah, you have your propane.
You have propane, I think you're good to go.
You can make it work. So, part of something that happens after a big earthquake is we would drive around and do like damage assessments and things like that. And then there's like a lull, there's a quiet time, and then all of a sudden we get hit with all the calls. And some of them are serious and some are not.
Right.
But if we're already going to those less serious calls, people let us know that it could be a delayed response. So we have some equipment that we can do, like extrications. We have airbags. I don't know if I showed you that we do airbags. Where we can lift heavy things off of, like a collapsed structure.
Yes.
FEMA has national response teams that are located in North we'd use like this wood here, and so what we could do, like say that this was a structural beam that was collapsed on somebody, or keeping people trapped, we would be able to slide this under there, and we inflate this high pressure airbag, and it can lift over 30 tons. And what it does, it'll end up getting about this tall, and it just lifts those things off, and we'd be able to extricate somebody from that. So that's one of the resources that we have for.
You guys can use what?
Yeah, we have all different sizes that we can use. We have low pressure airbags at the airport, which lift even higher. And we have our hydraulic equipment. We're going to find a way to get you out. It's just going to take time. And we can only deal with one person at a time, because other agencies that we normally call for support in any area-wide disaster, they're going to be dealing with their own 911 calls, their own problems.
Right.
So they're not going to be able to come help us when we normally just
They already have their own charts and stuff.
And we can't rely on our off-duty firefighters to come because their own houses have been damaged and their own families have been.
And everything, right.
So the firefighters have to be very well prepared in their own house, so that way we don't have to worry about what's going on at home. Our wives our husbands can have all the supplies that they need, and then once they're set up and safe, then we would know that we can respond into work to help out. So that's kind of something that we try to prepare for.
A lot of citizens kind of overlook that. It's just think it's like, hey, you know what? These guys also have families, to take care. That's why the first thing they have to do is to call their families at home saying that, hey, I'm going to be on duty, I'm going to be okay. Go ahead and activate all of these things, the preparedness plan that we have talked about. That's important. I mentioned the comment below the system. I don't know if I'm assuming that it's updated. response team.
Yep.
Yeah, it involves just a basic, you know, community.
Cameraman's tired.
So we're always here for 2 days.
It's jump in and swim, so.
Yeah.
So we have a
and they
little
don't
D
have
ring
it
on
there.
our, we have, well, actually there's 2 rings. We have one front, one back, so we just clip you on the carabiner. And since I'm the lowest in yard, he's like, call and swim, so I'll just swim in.
Going there, I don't know how it feels.
And we also,
There you go.
and we also have our rope rescue equipment here. If we need to use it, we have the steep bluffs around. That's kind of one of our only high angle rescue situations. But, and then we have special suits that we can go in the ice.
When was the last time we went scuba dive? A long time ago. Oh, is this Caldwell though? Warm water. This is like, we're talking about.
This for maintenance.
Yeah, if you dive here, all you see is muddy water.
Yeah, he's not Catalina.
If you go out one year in like February, the water's actually really clear there. So it's actually pretty cool. You see sea lions, anemones, and bull eels, all kinds of cool stuff.
Urchin?
Yep, you see plenty of those.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
look
all
at
kinds of
Oh,
stuff.
that's cool.
everything you need, except the rope. Where's the rope at?
We got
right
all
there.
that kind of stuff.
Oh, well, there's all the rope.
Yeah.
They should really keep all that.
Those are 150
Oh, we got
pounds.
bags. The bags are the bags of rope. Those are like the rescue rope we use on our boat. Alright.
Staffed with 5 like primary response members and on any given day. So we have 1 person at the airport fire station, and we have 4 people here. Our shift consists of, we have a fire captain, an engineer, and 2 firefighters. So we're an all-hazard response department, so we respond to both medical emergencies and fire,
Right.
things like that, and any kinds of rescues and anything else that people call us for, whether that's carbon monoxide leaks or someone's dog got their foot caught in like
Cat up and hanging in a
something.
tree.
Yeah, people call us whenever they don't know who else to call, so we have to be prepared to respond to pretty much anything. So that's why we have all these different apparatus here. Even though there's only 4 of us on duty, we have a lot of different pieces of equipment because we have to be able to, some areas where we respond, there's no fire hydrants, so we have to take all the water that we have that we need to fight the fire with.
Some of the past also, Colleen was explaining to us that, you know, it will take you a little bit challenging to go to that, you know, to
Exactly.
that point.
Yeah, so we have areas in the city, let's say like the VIP subdivision that is across the river, so we have to drive all the way across
Make a
the
loop.
river and the bridge and go all the way across and come back, and if there's a fire in that area, then we have to set up we call it a water shuttle or a tender shuttle, where we're using portable tanks filled with water. So most of our hand lines flow between 150 and 200 gallons per minute, so you know, our main engine that we use in the city only has 500 gallons of water, so if we had two hoses spraying water, that water would be gone in less than a minute. So it's very important that we have the fire hydrants. In the event of like an earthquake or something like that, we would revert back to doing an operation like with our water tender that has 3,000 gallons of water, because we wouldn't be able to rely on the municipal water system to supply us. We can draw water from the river, any lakes, ponds, things like that. We can have the ability to suck water out of those resources.
On the population-wise over here, you guys are serving just the Kenai or pretty much
just
the Soldotna?
Yeah,
as
just
well?
the city of Kenai. That's who we protect. But we also have mutual aid and auto aid agreements with our neighboring departments. So the 2 borough
Right,
departments
okay.
around us, Nikiski and Central Emergency
Okay.
Services. So they call us and we call them. We have actually an automatic aid agreement also. So as soon as we get a fire, they're already getting notified because we don't have the proper response capabilities for the national standard to respond to fire emergencies. We have to rely on our neighboring agencies.
Now, the fire that just broke out here, I mean, is that something that a mild sort of incident, or is that sort of occurrences? I mean, the fire that just happened here last week, or still going on here, right?
Okay, yeah. Well, that fire occurred with a lightning strike.
Okay.
Seems about
Yeah. That's what happened, huh?
Yes.
every summer, every other summer, so like a big fire like that gets going. Where that one started was in a remote area. They couldn't really get crews in to put it out right away, and it was on the refuge, which they have special management practices there they're going to allow the fire to burn on purpose because it enhances the habitat and things like that.
Makes sense.
And they're not going to use some resources maybe as readily, like the retardant in the airplanes, the drop, because they don't want to get that in the refuge unless there was houses or cabins that were involved. So there wasn't any structures that they were worried about around it. It wasn't
Or even
close to the
animals
highway.
all of that.
Yeah, they just kind of move out of the way, and the wildfires are actually really good for the environment and the habitat.
And then what are, because of the staffing under, short staff and everything, how many were involved in putting out the fires and containment wise as well?
For that fire?
Yeah, for that fire.
I think they have close to 500 people that they brought up from the lower 48 to fight that fire. So it takes a lot of people in a lot of different roles.
Yeah.
So our role at the Kenai Fire Department primarily is what we call wildland urban interface. So we don't really have the manpower, the skills and resources to put out big fires in the woods. So what our primary responsibility is just protecting houses. If there's fire in the woods, maybe starting from a campfire or kids started a fire in the trees, we just try to protect the houses and we'll let the trees burn. So
Any questions?
that's our primary goal.
I know you have a lot of questions back there and everything. I know you have this, tell us a little bit about this thing. Do you want to get out there? Or?
Yeah, whatever you want us to do, we can show you and talk to you and answer all the questions that you have. Do you want to go out and look at some
Yes,
stuff?
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Let's do that.
You're welcome to leave anything in here.
Oh, okay.
You'll be safe.
Okay.